Hey everyone, it's Denise Brown from the Caregiving Years Training Academy. Thanks so much for being here today. We're going to do an overview of our coaching programs. Those programs are on sale through August 25th. So I wanted to give you an overview and then give you an opportunity to ask questions about them. So let's start. Here we go. Just, okay. No, there we go. Okay. All right. So I want to give you an overview of the four programs that are on sale and then answer any questions. I'm also going to make this PowerPoint available to you as well as the recording. And the PowerPoint is going to include some information that I'm not going to go over during our time together, but you'll find it helpful to know. We have two different coaching programs. We have a certified caregiving consultant training program and a comfort care family coach training program. And I think of these as life coaches for family caregivers and former family caregivers. And because the caregiving experience can be a really painful one, the goal for our coaches is to be able to ask clients, how can I be with you? It's this idea that we're going to share the painful space. We're going to offer planning tools, stress management ideas, coping strategies, and we're going to be with you in this painful place. And what's powerful about that, as you'll know, in a caregiving experience, a lot of people, family members and friends, cannot share that painful space with us. They run. It's too much. They can't manage it. It's too hard. Our consultants and coaches can. And part of the training program teaches you how to be with someone. And it's very important that we know how to be with someone so that we don't burn out. And in the training program, I teach communication strategies you can use with your clients so you stay in a good place. And I also teach you how to know how to be successful. When we are supporting individuals who are really struggling, we might be tempted to overhelp. Overhelping will cause us to burn out. And so I share how to help in a way that's helpful for you and for your client. We also have a program called Certified Caregiving Specialist. And I think of these as virtual assistants who support family caregivers with managing the calendar, managing to-do lists, doing research. Our coaches ask the question, how can I be with you? And our specialists ask the question, what can I do for you? In the specialist training, you learn how to set up a virtual assistance business that targets family caregivers and former family caregivers, because there are tasks that we have to do after a death that are just awful. And a specialist can help with that. A specialist can help prepare the family caregiver for their care's physician appointment. And what that could include is not only helping get all the paperwork together that the doctor might need, or doing some online surveys that the doctor might ask. It also can include finding directions, not only to the office or the hospital, but the best way to navigate a campus. So for instance, in the Chicagoland area, we have lots of large hospital systems, and they are not easy to navigate. My sister-in-law died just a few weeks ago, and she was at Northwestern Hospital here in the city of Chicago. And it is a nightmare to navigate. And it's even more of a nightmare when you are stressed out. A specialist can help that family caregiver not only with directions to the exact building, but directions to parking, costs of parking, how to get a parking ticket validated, how to find the right office space, all of that, which is really helpful.
Thank you.
So that's the specialist. We added in a new training program, which is our professional listening artist program. And I have focused on listening for 34 years. And it's really what inspired me to start my business, because I listened to family caregivers and was so compelled to support them. And then I saw what happens when we connect to someone who is intentional about listening. And then we added a listening project in 2012, nope, 2022. And I saw what happened when a storyteller connected to a listener in a private space, and how that listener really changed that storyteller's perspective just by listening. So our professional listening artists offer listening sessions, and we help you understand how to actually structure a listening session and what types of situations you can offer a listening session for. So for instance, you could offer a listening session when a client is waiting for news, for a treatment, for the end of a bad day. I also think that it would be really helpful to have a listening artist who helps after a caree's death and who can listen to what's happening with funeral planning, how is the family dysfunction, creating chaos, all of that. So for the professional listening artist, it's the question they ask, which is, what story can I receive from you today? This summer, we've partnered with TrueMed. And through our partnership, clients can see if they are eligible to use their pre-tax spending dollars on services offered through our certified caregiving consultants, our comfort care family coaches, or our professional listening artists. What that means is if you have a client who works for a company who has a benefit for HSA or FSA spending accounts, your client can use pre-tax dollars for your services. If, for instance, you have services that might cost $100 per session, I'm just using that because that's easy for me math-wise, and they book a session with you every month that costs $100, $1,200 can be used from their FSA their flexible spending account to pay for your services. And what happens is that because it's pre-tax dollars, the client actually is saving some money. We're really excited about this. This is really a huge opportunity for our consultants and coaches and professional listening artists to really share an effective solution that clients can figure out an affordable way to pay. Okay. People have asked me this question over and over since 2016 when I launched our first training programs. That is why become certified. More and more certification is going to be required. For instance, Medicare has new services through Part B that are provided by auxiliary professionals. So not a nurse, not a social worker, but a certified caregiving consultant. And they consider an auxiliary professional to be someone who has been trained and certified. More and more, these kinds of opportunities are going to happen. And it is imperative to have training and certification behind your work. We know that your experience caring for a family member is an amazing foundation for additional training. So what we do is we really complement your lived experience with our training. In addition, it's a profession. It really does solidify the professionalism of the work we do. We also have standards of excellence. Our training program participants adhere to pledges and beliefs, and we really pay attention to that and honor that. We want our clients to have a really good experience with our coaches and consultants. The other piece of this is when you are trained and certified, you are differentiated in the marketplace. And it shows your investment in providing the very best type of training and experience for family caregivers. So I have a question in the chat room about the guide model, which is a new CMS, a new program offered through Medicare, not Medicaid, but Medicare, which provides services to family caregivers. And yes. So the question is, do your services fall under the umbrella of what guide will cover? Yes. So our services do fall under the umbrella. You have to work for an organization who is participating in the guide program. You do have to either contract with them or work for them. I had a conversation with one of the guide model participants, one of the companies that's participating in the program a couple weeks ago. One of the things he said to me is, we have a terrible time finding caregiving coaches. I said, we have caregiving coaches. He said, great. So we are working on a way for us to funnel program graduates to his organization for him to hire. Again, you have to work for an organization that's part of the guide model. And if you go to medicare.gov and you search for information about the guide model, you'll see the participating organizations. We are just starting an outreach program to these organizations to let them know we have coaches and we have training programs. Okay. So just a couple ways that our consultants have found revenue streams through their business. They work for themselves and contract out to employee assistance programs, for instance. They deliver workshops and get paid. They might create a paid membership program for family caregivers. They've received grants to do workshops. They've become paid influencers and paid content providers. So they might work for an organization that has content for family caregivers and they are hired to create that content. It's really been awesome to see the variety of ways that program graduates have used the program to either find employment or add services to their small business. Okay, so I have relationships with reporters, so our consultants have been featured in stories in the Wall Street Journal. We have been influencers for startups. We've done special programs that are relevant and timely. So we did really a great program on systemic racism from the perspective of family caregivers in June of 2020. And those consultants, certified caregiving consultants who participated in that panel discussion, were then asked to do a similar panel discussion for a large national organization. Okay, so we keep track of that. If you're ever interested, you can go to our website and take a look. So just a couple insights into my business mission. We're about creating opportunities and preventing regrets. I want to be a part of a movement. And I want to let you know that just as a personal caregiving experience can be painful, it's really hard to launch a small business. I want to be upfront about that. It's not a piece of cake. I wish it were. But one of the things that is really helpful to know is when you join our training program, you join our community and there's support for you. I have office hours for training program participants every Friday afternoon. We meet as a community on the third Tuesday of every month, and we've been doing that for years. So there's ways for you to connect to our support. Okay. All right. Again, a lot of this I'll share in the program, the PowerPoint. Just quickly, a little bit about me. I've been working with family caregivers since 1990. I launched one of the very first online caregiving communities in 1996. I was a family caregiver for my parents. I helped my dad for 19 years. He died in July of 2023. And I helped my mom for 7 years, and she died in August of 2022. I want to actually give you a little insight into who the programs are for. People, not as much as they used to, but they would mistake what our program is, and they would think it was, for instance, for certified nursing assistants. And that's not us. It's coaching programs. It's a virtual assistance program. It's a professional listener program. We provide some information about starting a small business, but there's lots of great resources out there for you. So we really encourage you to connect with your local small business association or another organization called SCORE, which is Service Corps of Retired Executives. They'll give you free coaching. They have free workshops. That's another great resource. So because there's those kinds of resources out there for you to take advantage of, we really focus on what can't you get out there? And that's the content of our training program. We do ask that you have a personal caregiving experience or have the experience of working with family caregivers. You can become a small business owner and add services that you learn through our training programs. We do have other programs that are about volunteering. And if you have joined any of our other program overview sessions, you can learn more about them by watching those archives or reviewing your notes from previous sessions. I really just wanted to focus on the programs that are on sale. Okay. All right, so let's tell you a little bit about, I guess I'll tell you how we've improved and enhanced the programs over the years. So I launched the Certified Caregiving Consultant Training Program in 2016. That was the very first training program I launched. We added in these caregiving wheels in 2018, and now there's 60 some wheels that we use in support groups, one-on-one sessions, and in group sessions. And it's all about sparking the conversation. You can use these wheels to create a course, to develop content on social media, or to keep yourself on track. We have master classes as part of our training programs. They are the core. And those programs are really built out from concepts I've developed over the years. The 6 stages of caregiving, the different fatigues we experience, and the 17 caregiving systems we navigate. We have, let's see. Yeah, so one of the other things that we added over the years are programs that you can take from our training and immediately start to sell to clients after your program ends. Within the training program, you do a lot that you're going to be doing after when you start your own small business. So you do it during our training, like you have a certain number of complimentary sessions that you offer, planning sessions that you deliver, weekly check-in calls that you manage. And it's all about getting used to providing these services to clients while you're in the training. We want you to get over your fears during the training. So when the training ends, you say, I'm ready to go. I have a package that I can sell because I learned about it in the training program. We have planning tools that become programs you can sell. There's an after the diagnosis plan, conflict resolution, discharge planning, family emergency planning, and system navigation plans. And we're adding some new ones in early September: fall recovery, shared decision-making, funeral planning, and 2 more that I can't think of off the top of my head, but we're adding 6 more. When you leave our training program to become a certified caregiving consultant, you have at least 9 different sessions and plans that you can immediately start to sell, that you can immediately start to use with clients. Oh gosh, there's more. Yeah. Sometimes lose count. Something else to keep in mind is I actually test all of these planning tools and then add them into the training program. So I have tested them in the marketplace. I've done them with family caregivers myself. I see what it's like. I see what they need, and then I add them into our training programs. If you're interested in becoming a certified caregiving consultant, we have 3 levels of training: bronze, silver, gold. All those levels are on sale through August 25th. You can save 20%. The silver actually adds in the ability for you to become a trainer. So you can add training services and train individuals on our programs, our guide program, our mentor program, and our professional listening artist program. The gold program adds more requirements that you have to achieve. And when you achieve them, you're a master caregiving consultant. So not just a CCC, but an MCC. You are a master caregiving consultant. We've been approved for CEUs for our programs. And then the Comfort Care Family Coach is a specialized coaching program that supports family caregivers when their caree starts palliative care. To start supporting a family caregiver when hospice care starts is too late. When palliative care starts, that's when family caregivers need much more support, attention, and plans, because they're going to start to manage end-of-life care, which could be something that happens over a period of 2 or 3 years. Okay. All right. So those are some of the other. Okay. I wanted to mention that we do have some free programs that you could take a look at that can help you if you're thinking, I want to do this, but I have no idea if I should or how I could or what I would do. There's 2 courses that are part of Caring Our Way. Flashlight Camp is a 4-lesson program. I just recorded the 5th lesson today, but it's available in its entirety. All the archived videos have been added. You can go to caringourway.com and look at Flashlight Camp, and that helps you find your purpose. For me, in 1990, I connected to my purpose of supporting family caregivers because I felt like God turned on a flashlight and showed me the way. And so I help you find your light and then do something with it, not just receive it, but actually take action with it. Impact Caregiving is 3 hours of archived workshops about starting services to support family caregivers. I held the live event in May. Archive is available for you. Both these courses are free, and both of them are really intentional about supporting you as you start this work, because we know it can feel intimidating. Okay, we do other programs. People like the programs that we do. Okay, here we go. So these are the programs that are on sale today through August 25th. And you can save 20% when you use coupon code OWN. And there's the website address. I'm going to put that in the chat so that you guys will have that. I'll also share the archive of today's meeting with you and the PowerPoint for you to take a closer look at everything. Okay, so questions might you have? Feel free to mute if you have questions that I can help you with.
Hello, Denise.
Yes.
This is Andita.
Oh, hi. How are you doing?
I got overwhelmed because I am doing long distance caregiving for my sister who is not well. She's in
Oh,
Kenya. So I just went to Kenya. I was there for almost 3 months.
oh,
And I also have very elderly aunts now. They're in their 80s, four of them, two of my mom's sisters and two of my dad's sisters. My parents are deceased. So I'm the primary caregiver. And I know I signed up for your program and paid, and I got overwhelmed. And so I'll probably need to either call you at a different times to see how I can get back because I totally got overwhelmed.
I totally
I
get
had,
that.
yeah, I had signed up for the program that I think I paid $2,000. I
Yep.
don't even know what program that was.
So you're in the Comfort Care Family Coach program, and you can join me at office hours on Friday afternoons, 2 p.m. Central Time, anytime.
Mhm.
And the program is there in your account. So just go to careyearsacademy.com and log in, and your course is there, and you'll see what progress you've already made and just pick up where you left off.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome. I'm so sorry for all. Oh my gosh, how overwhelming. How overwhelming. And please know that we are here to support you as you get back on track, and that we know that it takes energy to get back on track. So we want to
O-
help you get back on track.
Okay. Could you write for me could you, I was trying to write where I need to go, the .com.
Yep, I'll
Sign,
put it. Yep, I'll put
could
it.
you put it on the chat so I can see?
Sure.
Thank you.
What other questions might anybody have?
Hi, good
I,
afternoon. I'm Sadie,
Hi,
and
Sadie.
I am currently caregiving for my 104-year-old mom. Um, she's now in hospice, and she's been in hospice since January, but we're doing hospice at home, and I'm the only one that's here daily with her. But I have so many friends who have had or have sick parents, loved ones, siblings, whatever. And all these folks are calling me for, how did you do this? How did you do that? And I keep saying, Lord, I know there's a purpose behind all of this because I've been caregiving now for 8 years. And to go through the different stages and even selecting assistant living homes and being in hospitals, rehabs. So I know at some point I want to do something positive with all of this experience. Um, and what really made me decide, okay, this is something you need to start looking into was when the bereavement portion of hospice reached out to me. And the lady is so calm, when she's talking. She reminds me a lot of you, Denise. You just seem like you're so calm, but she's giving you lots of valuable information and helping me to think forward because likely this is not going to last forever. And then I attended a seminar not too long ago. It's about caring for the caregiver. And they gave such a large percentage of like 30% of caregivers pass before the sick one because they're not doing self-care. And how important self-care is. Um, it's a lot that revolves around caregiving and taking care of yourself and managing the day-to-day things. So I'm just here to get more information and to see at some point, I guess I need to receive the information, read it, and decide maybe when this journey ends, um, what do I need to have a plan of action?
I
I
am
want to
good.
do something with it, not necessarily a business per se, because I've owned and operated a family child care center for over 18 years. I'm not interested in the business part of it. I just want to enjoy retirement, um, but yet to be available to help hurting people.
We have a mentor program that is structured to be a volunteer who becomes a mentor. That could be something that you could think about.
Do you have any programs in the DMV area other than hospice? I know they ask for volunteers often, but are there any other? Is your program located, or you have a chapter here in the DMV area?
I do everything virtually.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. I put my calendar link in the chat room for you.
Okay.
So when you're ready, you are welcome to schedule time with me to talk out what would be a program that you might want to consider when the time is right. One of the
Okay.
things that we know is that sometimes people don't want to start a small business, but they want to make a difference. So we have programs that help you do that, like our mentor program.
Okay, thank you.
What other questions might anybody have?
I have a question. I struggle with self-care. I struggle. I talk about this time I'm going to take care of myself. Moving forward, I'm going to do this, that, and the other for myself so that, because I tend to just give. I'm the oldest in my family, a family of 6, and I'm the only one who kind of made it in terms of education and so on. And so I get called, at home, taking care of my family. And then I chose to study social work. So then, you know, I also started a non-for-profit. Kenya Women Support Group is a non-for-profit, just because when I arrived in this country, I struggled in trying to navigate the American system as a student. And at some point, I thought I was going to die here and nobody's going to even know I'm dead, because I came over 30 years ago. And at that time, there were no cell phones, at least in my country. So I was like, oh my God, how will everybody know that I'm dead from either the snow or the cold winter or something? So all that anxiety, and yet, I was still supposed to keep up with my grades. Being a student, a foreign student, you have to keep up your grades, B and above. And I struggled through it all and to graduate school, and I graduated my master's degree in social work. And I talked to I'm very spiritual about God and believing in a higher power than myself. So I prayed and I said, Lord, if you see me through this graduate program, I will help others who come my way, who are either students, foreign students, or, just they're here in this country. So that's what motivated me to start the Kenya Women Support Group, so that when the women come to this country, and not necessarily come from overseas, the ones who are already here trying to struggle to get into the system, work, raise a family, and they're going through all kinds of issues, stressful life events, they can call to me, and if nothing else, I liked what Denise, you were talking about, professional listening, like there's listening and hearing people out, and just listening, and you're not really attentive. So just even listening. So then I started this Kenya Women Support Group, but obviously I didn't have training on how to start a non-for-profit, but I did, and it's been 10 years now. But when I look back, there's a lot that I need to learn. There's so much that I need to learn about running a non-for-profit. All the calls that I get from the women with all kinds of stressful life issues. And that's when I saw this training, your training, Denise, and I thought maybe through that I might also learn a little bit about me and self-care, so that I can I can be better prepared to continue with this role of caregiving and also as a professional. So at some point, I do feel compassionate fatigue, and I feel completely depleted. And then when there's also issues of betrayal, whether in a family setting related to money and other things, and even, friends who borrow money from me and they don't return my money, and then it becomes this, there's this animosity. So all those issues, I'm struggling with that right now. And that's why, Denise, I was gonna just even call you one-on-one at some point, just for someone to hear my pain.
Yeah, so please schedule time with me. The calendar link that I put in the chat room will connect you for 30 minutes with me. So feel free to do that. Something that's interesting about going through the training program, it is also about reflecting on where you are and where you've been. And it helps you find some closure about where you've been and why you might be feeling the way you are. One thing that I learned over the years is that it was very important for me to set what I call or consider store hours. I am not available 24/7. I'm very intentional about what are the hours that I'm available. So for instance, for our training program participants, I'm always available for 1 hour every Friday afternoon, unless I'm traveling or out of town or taking time off. If I'm available to everyone all the time, I am never going to get anywhere. And all it's going to leave me is frustrated, resentful, and flirting with bitterness. It's very important that we think through, what do I need? And I always go back to an insight my niece shared with me when I was really overwhelmed with my dad. He would always ask me to do more and more and more. And she said to me, your quality of life matters too. And I always ask myself, what's the quality to my life for today? And if it means that I'm not available today to support another, it only means that today's not the right day to do that. There'll be another day that's better for both of us. Today is not the right day for me. And that's okay. Yeah, so let's connect. Let's connect.
Wow, that's powerful.
Oh, good. We talk about, those are some of the different insights that we talk about throughout the training program. It is very tough to figure this out, which is why we all need a coach, right? If we could figure this out by ourselves, then we would look different. One thing that happened for me is that after my parents died, the weight fell off. It just fell off. And it really spoke to me about how much stress does to our body despite our best efforts. In some regard, I was working out more when I weighed more, but I had more stress. We have to understand how about the stress of our days. And unless you've been in that kind of stressful situation, it's hard for people to understand. Well, why don't you just, you know what you should do? Well, we would do those things if we could. But the systems are set up in such a way that sometimes it's not possible or affordable or realistic or logical, or we just don't have the resources for it. It's so helpful to be able to talk to someone who says, I get it. No wonder you feel betrayed. You had talked about this feeling of betrayed. Betrayal is a theme throughout our caregiving experience. No wonder you feel a little frustrated, a little bitter today. Given what you just went through with your sibling or with the healthcare system, it makes sense you feel this way. And that's a skill called validation that we teach in our professional listening artist program, our comfort care family coach program, and our certified caregiving consultant program. And using those skills is one of the ways that we prevent our own burnout. If we get too entrenched in someone else's story and fixing them, we're going to burn out. We are really helpful when we listen intentionally and offer validations. The client feels less stressed. And guess what happens when they feel less stressed? They can think. They have an idea. They have a different perspective. They feel energetic enough to make that phone call they've been dreading or make that request that they just hate to ask for. That's our work. It's again about being with someone in a painful situation because it's very hard for others to be with us in our pain. Okay.
Wow. Yeah, right there. I think I already know what my biggest problem is. I'm available all the time, anytime, any day. And I've been that for so long. And then to the point where it's like a bottomless pit. It's like
Yeah.
that's how I
Yeah.
feel. And
Yeah.
then I've just come to discover there are those who you can't save them from themselves. I don't know if
No, no,
there's
no.
something like that.
Yes. Right.
Something about just
Yes.
realizing that, even though I'm
Yes.
so compassionate by
Yes.
nature, there's no amount of talking, there's no amount of what I've tried, what I can. And some of it is family members, very close family members. I've given it all. And so I'm in this space where I'm feeling, Lord, what else could I have done? Where did I go wrong? I'll be 66 next month. So I'm looking at retirement. And so yeah, so I'll definitely call you, Denise.
Yes.
But I'm already feeling better.
Oh, good.
I feel like I was in a session.
Oh, okay, there you go. I want to mention something about saving people. It is not for us to save anyone. You know what? We don't want to take that experience away from someone.
Mm,
We want to rescue ourselves. And
mm,
oftentimes we just need someone who believes we can.
mm,
And if someone is shooting on us, you know what you should do? They
mm,
are taking away our own wisdom and power.
mm,
And when we show up and say, tell us what's going on, I'm here to listen, I'm here to understand, then we empower someone to say, you know what? I can figure this out. I feel your belief in me. And because of that, I can keep going. I wrote about my sister-in-law's death. It's on Caring Our Way if you want to read about it. And I really struggled with her. She was married to my brother who died 3 years ago. And I had a hard time because of some challenges my sister-in-law had that she pretended didn't exist. So it always felt like you could never really connect with her authentically. And yet for her, it was very important that she stayed connected to us, particularly me and my younger sister. And in our Caregiving Listener Project this past February, this is what I write about. So I'm giving you the short story here. I had an opportunity to connect with a volunteer listener. And I started talking about my brother's death because I really was struggling with it. And what it turned out, it wasn't my brother I was struggling with, it was my sister-in-law. And I thought, how do I maintain this relationship with her? And I talked it out. And I thought, you know what? I maintain this relationship with her by just loving her in whatever dose, whatever measurement possible. So I continued the relationship with her. I spent time with her. And when I spent time with her, all I did was focus on loving and supporting her. I didn't shit on her. I couldn't save her. She was tormented by my brother's death. She could not forgive herself. And so she died. And when she was dying, we were able to go see her at Northwestern and spend the last day with her that she was alert and oriented. And we all had an opportunity to say goodbye to her. And when she was, I haven't cried about her yet. So you're going to be my witnesses to this. So as she knew she was dying, she was alert and oriented. They said, you know, you're an organ failure. You're not going to live beyond the day. She lived till the next day. But when she was telling her sister some things about, you know, here's who to call, she was asking for my sister and I because she wanted to tell us what flowers she wanted for her funeral, the passwords to her phone and to her computer. We were the ones that she looked to really honor what would happen next. And it really was powerful. And I was thinking about that listening session I had in February, and I was thinking, thank God I took advantage of that. Thank God I spoke the truth about my struggle with my sister-in-law so that I could pivot to a healthier perspective and just love her. So when she died, there was peace about her death. I knew I couldn't save her. We saw her in her pain. We saw her. We all experienced her pain. Everybody knew she was in pain. Others kept telling her what to do. And then she would show up with us and say, I am so tired of people telling me what to do. And we would say, let's just make plans for our next get together. Let's just focus on today. And the last time we saw her, the end of June, the last Saturday in June, she came and she was a mess. And we could see things were not right. But she said, I'm so tired of people telling me what to do. So we just spent time with her and talked and made plans. And she looked different when we left. And she sent us a text later that day and said, wow, you made my day so much better. Yeah. Thank you guys. Yeah, thank you guys for that opportunity to tell you that.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
Wow. Wow. I'm so glad I joined today. I am so glad that I was able to join today.
Yeah, I'm so glad too. It's good to see you. I know that we haven't connected for probably about a year and a half, so I'm glad to reconnect with you. The program is there for you. It's ready for you. That's the other thing to keep in mind. It's there for you. It's ready for you. And you haven't lost anything. All you found is the right time. And this is the right time for you to reconnect.
And also, I think it was important for me to go to, those almost 3 months I was in Kenya. I'm from Kenya. Just I looked at even my country and where things are politically, socially, and I even visited the school I went, over 50 years ago, and just so there's only so much you can do in the time that I now have. And so there was this sense of surrender somehow. And it really helped me
there you go.
In the little time that, whether it's 1 year or 2 years or whatever, 5 months, I need to center myself.
Yeah.
And do a little bit of self-care.
Yeah. And what we can do is set our store hours. When are we available? When is our store open to connect?
I like that. I like that.
Right, we don't have to be.
I like that. Store hours. I don't have any store hours.
Set your store hours.
That's it. I've never had a store hour.
Set your store
hours. My phone is open 24/7. In the middle of the night.
Oh, no.
I will get a call. There's a crisis. Store hours. That's what I'm taking.
And you could even set up what I have set up, which are office hours. And you can let people know that your Zoom room is open for 1 hour I do it Fridays at 2, for instance. And you could pick a day where it's just people join you for an hour. They come in and ask questions, but it's also a nice way for them to connect to others other than you.
Wow. Thank you, Denise.
You're welcome.
I need to reflect on this today, and we'll connect. Thank you so much for all you do.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. Yeah, thanks you guys so much for being here. This was really quite cathartic for me. So thank you for giving me the space to share honestly with you. And thank you for your interest in what we do. I so appreciate it. I so appreciate it. Thank you guys.
So very much.
Yeah. Thank you for all you do. Thanks so much. Reach out if you have questions. Reach out if you want to schedule time on my calendar. And I look forward to keeping in touch.
Okay.
All righty. Thank you very much. Enjoy your weekend.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.